Hi, I'm ZGALA, the Art Angel. You can call me Auntie Angel if you like. And this is the part of the day where I tell you 3 people who've inspired me in the last 24 hours or so. This is a series, a project that I am trying to get more into in the hopes that I will inspire you to think about what inspires you, who inspires you, and how do they inspire you. So without further ado, all that rhymes, so you know it's true. Let's get into it. The 3 people who come to mind who've inspired me the most in the last 24 hours are Kieth K. I might be saying his last name wrong. Friend of mine, musician friend. Chucky D. Chuck D. I'm gonna butcher his last name. We just call him Chucky D for that reason. Lawrence? That's not it. And my friend, Spirit Godkin. I call her my sister friend. Let's get into how these 3 people inspired me in the last 24 hours. Kieth K, or Kaluvia, I think it's Kaluva. He plays with various bands. He's been a musician for 30 or more years. I've been watching him play as a musician for 30 or so years. And this weekend he played with a group called The Withdrawals, which is a group that used to play very regularly back before I became a mom some 30 years ago. Even longer than that. I'm doing the math. My son is 29 this year. And I was going to see them for a few years before I got pregnant with him. So that would be more than 30 years. And the Withdrawals have been a group that used to play every weekend for a while way back then, and now play once a year usually, sometimes twice, but they come back together from their various places around the United States and play here in Albuquerque, New Mexico, one weekend a year, usually this summer weekend. And that was just this past weekend, and I happened to make it to all 3 of their shows this time around for the first time in a long while. And thankfully feeling better enough to go out and shake my booty a little bit, be a dancing fan. And all those guys inspired me, do continue to inspire me, I should mention. But Kieth, who is the lead singer and kind of the leader of that band, I think we can say, inspired me a lot this weekend watching him sing. For one thing, I'm a singer also, and I really just have a great admiration for what it takes to sing your heart out, even when the sound isn't perfect, or even when you forget the words, or even when there's various numbers of people out in the audience. I gotta shift onto these feet here, starting to cramp up. And Kieth just did a remarkable job all weekend, and in particular yesterday, where the sound was actually quite good out and about, but the crowd was fairly large and fairly big, and so I recognized his struggle as a singer, because it's a struggle I've had myself, to be heard, to even hear yourself, and to keep singing the words like you mean them. And there were several instances where, probably partly because I was close to up to the front of the stage, I could really just feel the visceral passion with which Kieth was singing the words and meaning them and putting his heart and soul and back into them. And I really am inspired by that as a singer and as a human being. And I usually like to say 3 things that people have inspired me with, and I guess I would say his vim and vigor and gusto that he's singing with, whether anybody can hear him or not, his ability to continue on even when things don't go perfectly. And of course, things never go perfectly in life, for very long at least. And when you're singing with a band, especially a band that doesn't get together but once a year, the imperfections are abound, running amok. But Kieth did a wonderful job of keeping everybody on track, keeping himself on track, keeping the vibe vibrant and going. And he also did a remarkable job of playing through for long periods of time. They did take a break yesterday, but just a short one. And a couple of the other shows they played for 3, maybe even 4 hours straight. And I happen to know that takes a lot of stamina. So those are 3 ways that Kieth inspired me this last 24 hours. And in a related vein, Chucky D, I'm not going to try to butcher his last name again, who's been a friend of mine for some years and who I probably met through the Withdrawals band, or maybe through some other band. He is a music promoter, among other things, and he always inspires me with his great smile. That guy has a great smile, and he brings it to the table all the time. And yeah, so Chucky D inspired me with his smile and also with his music production talents, of which he has many. And the fact that he manages to bring the Withdrawals together once a year, even though they are now, many of them live in different states. And I think he got them together in Vegas before bringing them here, or getting them all to come here to play this 3-day little mini tour show. And that inspires me. And also his relentless drive to promote, as was seen through, he has great posters made. I think it's fair to say he's got an old school quality because he's a little older than me, perhaps, and has been doing this since the world was a different world. And he often shows how and why some of those old school methods, the methodologies of the old school. You probably wouldn't like hearing me say that. In any case, he demonstrates how things still work. The old tried and true ways of making posters, of promoting online, of taking the good shots and sharing those in a way that has impact, really does add up to as successful as we can hope to be in the music industry these days, right? So Chucky D inspiring me by way of his fantastic smile, his relentless promoting capabilities, and his reliance on tried and true methods that still work. And last but certainly not least, my sister and my friend, Miss Spirit Godkin, who is really always an inspiration to be around. But she inspires me with her, I was going to say her boobs, her body. If you saw her yesterday, you'd know what I mean. That girl's just got wowza body capacity for miles, so to speak. Not really for miles, but in all the right places and in all the right amounts. And it is inspiring to see her just move around in the world with that. And she also inspires me by way of her graciousness. She has a way of playing the hostess with the mostess, even when we're out in public. She lets me drive her car and is gracious in the way that she tries to help other people have a good time and look out for other people, and not always take all the credit for it. So that inspires me. Her beauty inspires me, her graciousness inspires me, and her spirit. I was with her when she got given that name, Spirit. It wasn't her birth given name, but it has stuck ever since. When we were teenagers when she got that name. And she does indeed bring a level of spirit, of energy of bigger than life essence, which is really inspiring. And I aspire to bring some of that to the table myself. I think most of us do. We find it inspiring in others, and through that inspiration, want to bring more of it to the table ourselves. So there's 3 people who've inspired me, 3 ways that 3 different people have inspired me in the last 24 hours. Shout out to Chucky D, Kieth, let's call him Kieth K, and Spirit G. All 3 of those beautiful human beings have been an inspiration to me in the past, and again in the most recent 24 hours. I'd love to know who is inspiring you and how and why. What's inspiring you about other people? I think if we share this more with each other, it might just help elevate humanity a little bit. And I feel like we need all of that we can get. So do share if you care to in the comments. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for being you and letting me be me. Thank you if you like and subscribe. It helps me out. And till next time, peace.